Ukraine is awaiting a US decision on providing new weapons, specifically long-range missiles. The US administration is actively discussing reinforcing our country with Tomahawk missiles, but only Donald Trump will put an end to these discussions. Trump stated that he has almost made a decision on supplying Tomahawk missiles to Ukraine, but to make a final decision, he needs to know where they will be deployed and what targets, adding that he does not want an escalation. In turn, Russian dictator Vladimir Putin noted that providing Tomahawk missiles to Ukraine would be a qualitatively new stage of escalation, including in relations between the US and Russia, and assured that these missiles would not change the situation on the battlefield in any way. Military expert and retired Ukrainian Armed Forces Colonel Oleg Zhdanov spoke to Glavred about the likelihood of Ukraine acquiring new long-range missiles, what changes the Ukrainian Armed Forces will experience with Tomahawk missiles, and what big events await Russia beyond the Moscow blackout, and what will be the turning point for the Russian elites that will lead to the overthrow of Putin. I think the talk about Ukraine receiving American Tomahawk missiles in the foreseeable future is most likely just empty talk. Perhaps someday down the road after the ceasefire we will get them, the expert said. He added that it seems Putin has something that Trump can't overcome. According to him, with Tomahawk, Ukraine could have destroyed the Russian energy industry. We could have created the conditions for a crisis, and that crisis would have destroyed the Russian energy industry. If Trump had decided to transfer the Tomahawk, Russia would hardly have been able to object. At one point, it cried foul about the inadmissibility of transferring ATACMS to Ukraine, but Russia swallowed it. It would have swallowed the Tomahawk too, with difficulty and a great deal of political hysteria, but it would have swallowed it. For now, we're living on manna from heaven, waiting for when they'll give us a Tomahawk, and if they do, how many. More ammunition depots and arsenals would have been added. Basically, everything located in the European part of Russia that is in our immediate vicinity had already been hit by our drones. We couldn't reach those areas closer to the Urals, further beyond Moscow, but with Tomahawks, we could. More depots and arsenals would definitely have been added. The most important thing is that we need to start shelling Moscow. Ukrainian strikes against Moscow and the Kremlin will lead to a breakdown in public opinion in the Russian Federation. They will understand that nothing is sacrosanct, that there is no vaunted Russian air defense system that can protect everyone from everything. Ukraine needs to break the bonds of power, the Russian ideology, because this will have a huge impact. The Tomahawk will be able to strike any target, factories, bases, arsenals, and so on. For example, the Yamal Cross, where gas pipelines converge and diverge, could become a target for the Tomahawk. If it were to be destroyed, it would trigger a crisis in Russia's energy sector. In short, a blackout in Moscow is absolutely possible. It's much easier, faster, and more effective to arrange with Tomahawk. This will rock the throne. With every failure at the front and in domestic politics, the Russian elites are increasingly losing faith in their leader. The retinue makes the king, and it is they who will overthrow him when the turning point comes, he said.
Greenland's leader on Wednesday thanked the European Union for being a trusted friend and urged the 27-nation bloc to invest in his country's mineral resources, renewable energy schemes, airports and internet services. According to Associated Press, in a speech to the European Parliament, Prime Minister Jens Frederik Nielsen said that his country was going through challenging times. He noted the threats posed by climate change but did not mention President Donald Trump's unclear plans for the Arctic island. We need cooperation and partnerships with like-minded countries and institutions who share our values. The EU has been a stable, reliable, and important partner for Greenland for more than 40 years, the 34-year-old premier said. He extended a heartfelt thank you to the EU, telling gathered lawmakers, "You have stood by us as a friend and partner. We will never forget this." Greenland was a colony under Denmark's crown until 1953, when it became a province in the Scandinavian country. In 1979, the island was granted home rule, and 30 years later, Greenland became a self-governing entity. It remains part of the Danish realm. Denmark, which currently holds the EU's rotating presidency, and Greenland have rejected Trump's offers to buy the island. He hasn't ruled out military force to take control of the mineral-rich territory. When asked by a reporter before his speech about relations with the Trump administration, Nielsen said that U.S.-Greenland ties should be managed, in mutual respect, with respect for international law. "We seek to have more and better cooperation also with the USA when we can fulfill the respectful tone," he said. During the speech, Nielsen said that Greenland has most of the critical raw minerals that the EU is seeking, but that mining these resources is capital-intensive. Nielsen also called for financial support to develop telecommunications networks, particularly in the poorly connected north, and to build 2 regional airports.
The Prime Minister of Greenland, His Excellency. We need cooperation and partnerships with like-minded countries and institutions who share our values. The EU has been a stable, reliable and important partner for Greenland for more than 40 years. It has evolved from a cooperation primarily focused on fisheries to now including education, raw material, energy, biodiversity, research and climate change. Our relationship has gradually grown and expanded throughout the years, and most recently with the EU office opening in Greenland, which has been a great tool for cooperation and connection. The EU has been a steadfast friend and have stood by us when we needed it the most. I would like to extend a heartfelt thank you to you, the EU, for your strong support for Greenland during challenging times we are going through right now. You have stood by us as a friend and partner. We will never forgive this. Thank you. It is essential for us that those who operate telecommunications in Greenland are trusted and reliable actors. This is vital to ensure the stability of the infrastructure and to prevent unauthorized parties from disrupting and compromising connections. Greenland, the education of our youth